Here's a few words about your lovely David Icke, who I once thought was a hero, but I soon woke up. I did the research, David, and you're corrupt. Listen to the following and you'll find out why. This is about the origins of evil in the Bible, and the Bible is the Doomsday Book. Excuse me looking away, I've got to look at a computer screen because I've written this down. But these comments, these words, are found on lots of comments of David Icke's videos to warn people away from David Icke. Satanic Christianity was created by David Icke. His information contains lots of information that correlates with parts of the Bible. The first male child being a sacrifice due to him saying about aliens doing a deal with the government. God is a pervert and everybody is God, according to David Icke's first website, and idiots have tried making me have sex with children in my past. Thankfully, they've failed. And according to the Bible, everybody is made in my image. Due to extraterrestrials of my body in the shape of an upside-down womb, which are actually a portal, everybody has been made in my image. Demons that feed on fear and negativity, and the Bible story contains words pertaining to demons that torment. There is also mention of the words all life is sacred, and sacred is an anagram of scared. All inspired from David Icke's information. David Icke is made from a white cubic stone, mentioned in a book by Crowley, a known Satanist and member of the OTO, stolen from me, which was apparently a satanic pact that I was brainwashed into because I was judged, evidently, by the nutcase so-called extraterrestrials that judge people for words, thoughts and deeds according to the Christian faith. But they're all wrong, obviously. Anyway, here's a little proof for you, spiritually speaking. David Icke expresses the shape of an unfolded cube on the front of one of his books, that being the Christian cross. That's the origins of the Christian cross, my unfolded cube. The origins of Christianity, something stolen from me. And what begins in corruption ends in destruction. So Christianity is being wiped out. There are plenty of videos of churches being destroyed around the world, hurricanes, earthquakes, fires, goodness knows what else. And thankfully people, because they're waking up. David has certainly unfolded given the information he has expressed, but most of his information is evil. Everybody created from David Icke's website and information is being destroyed, including David Icke, and he is no son of mine, as he falsely claims on the Terry Wogan TV show. And guess who is behind all this? A man called Brian Marcus, as well as Masons and the Royals. They're evidently the multi-faith and the church. Brian Marcus, who I've mentioned a few times, is Bob Marley raised from the dead, something I was used to do as a child to bring Bob Marley back to life, to be judged for having written the song Redemption Song about mental slavery and having to fulfill the book. And there is no freedom in mental slavery, is there? So Brian Marcus's song, Bob Marley's song, is as hypocritical as the fucking Bible, excuse my language. Now then, Brian Marcus, same initials as Bob Marley, blatant clue, who became Jesus because of having written that book and because of having tried to make me look like Jesus in his place a few years ago to undergo crucifixion, because of the song history repeating itself. But obviously Jesus Christ's history has nothing to do with my history. I'm mentioned in the Bible as having created the world, the Ammonites, the earth and the oceans, the animals and the birds. Yes, and I did these things when I was a child. This is provable with my actions in the past. And some interesting facts about me as being known as the Dagda or Sinunos in ancient books written by the Celts, and all the numbers correlate. The time I read the Bible, the age I was 4.5 years old, and in 450 AD, the Celtic illuminated manuscript with a picture of me as a child in blatant 450 AD and 4.5 years old. It's all about numbers and words that add up, initials and hidden meanings in words. Right then, where else was I? Anyway, yes, Brian Marcus was supposed to be, or did become Jesus. That's Bob Marley raised from the dead. A judgment put upon him for having written that song and poisoned the world with that song, just like the Bible has been used to poison the world. This character comes from a book called The Goetia, Brian Marcus, about the government of hell. and is the only character mentioned in any so-called magical book that can turn water into wine. The only other place that is mentioned is in the so-called Holy Bible. Why do you think Jesus was justifiably executed 2,000 years ago and actually caused that to happen to himself in accordance with the words in the Bible, telling his disciples that he was going to be crucified, and sure enough, he was crucified. And that was done, like I said, because he tried having me crucified in his place, in a place in Kent many years ago. Do unto others was applied, words from the Bible. And he was crucified 2,000 years ago, and he's going to be crucified again. Christianity is an abomination. To worship a criminal and a doomsday book in any so-called house of God is a blasphemy. And David Icke's information is the reason all that evil rubbish exists. And strangely enough, it was David Icke, created from my stolen cube, due to the family of Brian Marcus. So he's brought around his own end by stealing a cube from me to bring about his justified execution on a cross 2,000 years ago. Bit of a paradox, but there you go. Glad that paradox was turned against Jesus and Brian Marcus for what they did to me. And David Icke's information is the reason all that evil rubbish exists. Wake up, David, you idiot. As I have mentioned previously in similar comments on this idiot's videos, that being David Icke's videos, I did the research, David. And you are rotten. And I quickly stepped back years ago from having anything to do with David Icke's information, because David Icke is corrupt, born of corruption, and will end in destruction. And so will Alex Jones and all these other doomsayers. Anyway, there's also the fact that David Icke saying that God is a pervert and everybody is God, like I said, is why I was encouraged to have extraterrestrial tattoos done on my stomach, to make everybody in my image, because that's what it says in the Bible story. Everybody is made in the image of God, yes? And I've been making people for a long time, around me and in history. And also in my name, which is another thing I'm going to have a go at David Icke about, secretly is the words Hiram, who is apparently the architect, the creator of the universe. The temple, actually, but the temple is the universe that I created. All the worlds, the moon, this world, everything, the stars. There isn't anything I haven't created. And I ain't providing anymore, because I've had nothing all my life. According to the Bible, the Lord provides. I've had so-called Christians trying to steal from me because of those words in the Bible. And then the Wiccans tried to copy them, evidently, years ago, writing a book saying that if you ask the universe provides. And I just happen to have the universe in my mind, the safest place to keep the fucking universe. Because I have certain inbuilt superhuman and supernatural powers, you could say, that help me to become incredibly strong in times of danger. And they are my powers only, due to my identity that permanently remains mine. For a very good reason that I have just explained to you. So all the pedophiles on the world are created from David Icke's information, claiming that God is a pervert and everybody's God. Everybody isn't God. Everybody has words in their names that have very specific values and meanings, including me. I'm just going to scroll on to another bit of information. I've left loads of comments on David Icke's videos. So if you have a look at David Icke's latest videos, you'll read my comments. And you'll read about Masonic symbology that proves what I'm saying about the cube and David's soul and things like this. And that somebody evidently mistook my cube, my white cubic stone, stolen from me. I was bewitched into giving that to this family that contains Jesus, that being Brian Marcus, Bob Marley raised from the dead, and the human personification of the Bible, that being Seb Marcus, and countless evil spirits and goodness knows what else in his family. They're known as the Wizards of Oz, apparently, based on the film. Mean bastards that want to control the world with fear. Anyway, David Icke is made from what was made from what was mistook to be my soul, The soul is a spiritual thing. It's nothing to do with a part of anybody's physical body. Anyway, do you remember Starsky and Hutch? With a black and a white-haired duo driving around in a red and white car. Well, that's symbolic of the black and white Templars driving the red and white Templars, right? They're all about black and white and red and white. Their regalia is all black and red and white. And what's the name of Hutch? The character's name of Hutch in that film? David Soul. I have mentioned this before on a previous video quite a few years ago. Anyway, Christianity is a demonic con, and I'm never providing to anyone. I'm providing to my mum and myself. And my mum's name is Carol. And I'm absolutely nothing to do with David Icke other than the fact that David Icke was made from my stolen cube. Perhaps that's why he claims he's the son of God. But he isn't the son of mine. He was made from something stolen from me. And these spiritual clues and the things that I've been through in the last few years, since looking at David Icke's information, about the last 20 years, and most of my life because of your rotten church judging their own maker, I'm outraged at what has been done, and I am revoking creation. You were all warned. And I've asked David Icke quite a few times in comments on his videos to send me an apology for calling me a pervert. And he should be apologising to everybody for causing everybody to be a pervert, apparently in my image. Because everybody's God, according to David Icke. Well, David Icke can fuck off. And if I ever meet him face to face, he won't survive. Anyway, I'll finish with these vastly important and significant words. Vengeance is mine, saith the Supreme Being. Good luck to all you decent, honest people out there that ain't after getting something from me for nothing, because I've provided enough. A world for everybody to live on, everybody's life and existence, a certain amount of intelligence. I shouldn't be expected to provide any more than that. And I'm going to live in Windsor Castle. And I'm getting rid of everybody created from David Icke's information. And I'm going to have all the royals' money and land and property, and I'm going to have all the churches' money and land and property, because none of those parasites deserve what they've got. And that also applies to oil companies, book, music and movie companies, eBay, and anyone else who's made money from me having created the internet. And I can prove that as a fact as well, with significant spiritual correlative information about the place where I was living when I was used to create the internet. And the internet is a demonic con, because it was demons that were using me at the time to create that. And I can prove that. Anyway, have a nice day, everyone who's a decent person and who isn't a parasite and doesn't expect me to provide to them.